I knew as soon as I heard about the earthquake that I was going to be there in some manner, just because of what I do in the military. Like, I figured we were going to get mobilized and we were going to get sent down there for the relief effort. The 82nd was there within 72 hours. They had an entire, battalion of like 82nd Airborne troops there. So I assumed automatically that I was going to be like sent down there. And then when I went to drill and I heard, hey, who wants to go? It's like, well, I might as well. I thought originally it was going to be more of a military type thing, me and my team going down there. But as the week progressed, the 4 days we had leeway time, I realized it wasn't really going to be like that. It was going to be a non-governmental organization, volunteer type trip. So I was able to get another guy from my fraternity, Eugene Bednoff, on as well. So we actually both went down there with my team chief and my team leader's wife, Dr. Manley. And we didn't really know what our job was going to be when we got down there. Mm-hmm. And we had a bunch of money that had been donated by, various people, mostly brothers in the Delta Chi fraternity. Donated $5–10 here or there. And we actually went down there with just under $700 in cash. Actually $694 in cash when we left. And we were going to buy medical supplies or food, and then when we got on the ground, we landed in Port-au-Prince at the airport. There's thousands of pallets of both everywhere, so we kind of had to war game from there as well to figure out exactly what we were going to do with that money. But the only way I could really describe the destruction there is walking into Hiroshima or Nagasaki after the A-bomb hit. It was awful. Flying over, you could see some of the slums, but you couldn't really tell how bad it was. The hospital that we were working at was the only like standing medical facility of that like caliber in the city. So the national, or the presidential palace was destroyed. The National Assembly was destroyed. Like, everything was destroyed. There was a girl that had been stuck under a building in the mountains, and she had been impaled by a piece of like correlated tin, shrapnel, just pushed through her stomach. And she had emergency gastrointestinal surgery done in the mountains, where they removed the shrapnel. They removed, I think, 4 inches of her lower intestines, almost a foot of her small intestines, almost a foot of her large intestines, and like a chunk of her stomach. She walked in from the hospital, like from the mountains. Her family got her from the mountains into the hospital. It took them almost 2 weeks. But this girl had a bilateral broken pelvis, and I was going around, it was right after the night shift, about 10:30 in the morning, and I walked around and her IV bag was running low, so I got her new bag, I changed it, and her mom came up and was screaming at me in Creole. This girl who had emergency gastrointestinal surgery had been sitting on a cot outside in the heat underneath just a piece of cloth as a tent for 48 hours and had not been seen. She had a bilateral break of her pelvis. She had all that stuff done to her stomach. She was obviously in a lot of pain, but the thing that was most striking to me was that none of her allergies were written down. She couldn't move. She had just been carried down from the mountains. Like, I can't imagine how stressful a trip that must have been for her family. And just to be left there in the corner of a hospital, like under a tent for 2 days. But I went to go grab her some medicine. Specifically pain medication, and her mom stopped me and was like, no, she's allergic to all these medications. She's allergic to 95% of the antibacterials or antibiotics that we had on site. She was just allergic to so many different things, and none of this was documented. I ended up putting a big sign on her chest saying, "Ask me about my allergies." I picked her up, I got her out of the French side of the camp, just carried her over, found her bed on the American side and put her there, and was like, told the doctor, hey, this is now our patient, and got her treated. And just the look on her mom's face when I did all that, just got to the bottom of the story, and got her treated, got her seen, got her some medicine.
We lost a couple of people that we shouldn't have lost. Not personally, but in general in the hospital, due to just disorganization, language barrier, lack of available supplies. People are released about 2 days after they have surgery, so they literally have an amputation or an external fixation, and 2 days later they're sent off, basically forced to leave the hospital. And most of them have nowhere to go, no access to food, no access to water, no family. They're just put on the street pretty much.
There's just a lot of people who are willing to go there, and put their life on hold. You know, stop whatever they're doing and really just go down and try to make a difference for people who need it way more than they ever could.